jumping up and down like toddlers, but there is nothing that is coming out. Bagalonga. So those are the things that we are talking about. Let us not be overexcited like a toddler that has been overfed with milk. No. Let us sit down and analyze these things. We don't just have to do things like so this failure is not for the MOP. The failure is not for the mayor. The failure because Haga in there told us that Gamubika Chen or not in it or Cheni had Rogupuring. Jala uti iteni putting about Mutswavika Wompela, Wala Noka. If you want it, trailer uti end, Bama Cancer, Bataric Gwenda, Bama Bama Cancer, Gamu go out to Mutwe, Mutunguandi Uzwa. It is an error for you to say that to go have trailer come out, a train end, so that to go ahead trailer, whatever the end. What kind of thinking is that? Uti training I tendi, Gamudata Mutu and Gamota putting in Gota dos. Mabika Mutu wanting upon a man that would dosa train. Mu UPND is like everyone in UPND now. Mutu wanchinga. You talk about a leader at the district level under UPND. It's like Mutu wanchinga wera train. You talk about the president. Our he is not functioning. He is not delivering. So failure is all over. Failure is all over. And someone is talking about Haga in the Aguinda. God will give us someone that will take it up. Bagalonga.
King Cobra, Mwera Buta Muguria, Gugitaria, to Ambassador Sumpu.
Tema Ambassador.
May so rest in peace. Why would he?
Badara Sata, in his few years, now 2 years, you saw a lot of things changing. Many people were saying Shatanjira, we over Kondo, we over he. In his talking, he sounded as if he's a bad man. But he talk about actions. There are so many things that we can point out in now. Yagaleta Sata.
But what is the problem? Let him talk. Listen, let him talk. What's your problem? No, you let him talk. No, don't point at him like that. No, why is he pointing at him like that? You should have respect. No. Put him in the one. No, let's point at him like that. No, don't touch Pangashen. Anyway, let him talk to you. What's your problem? Excuse me. It's okay, fine, it's all right. But what is the problem? Let him talk. Listen, let him talk. What's your problem? No, you let him talk. No, don't point at him like that. No, why is he pointing at him like that? You should have respect. No. Put him in the one. No, let's point at him like that. No, don't touch Pangashen. Anyway, let him talk to you. What's your problem? Excuse me. It's okay, fine, it's all right. But what is the problem? Let him talk. Listen, let him talk. What's your problem? No, you let him talk. No, don't point at him like that. No, why is he pointing at him like that? You should have respect. No. Put him in the one. No, let's point at him like that. Good day and welcome to today's program. Share the broadcast wherever you are watching us from. Today is a momentous day. Sorry for starting the broadcast late. We are discussing the judgment by Justice Concepta Chinyanwa Zulu. I needed to speak to the lawyers. I needed to speak to the parties involved, such as my dear brother Mal Sampa and others. I needed to fully understand the judgment, and I also needed to have sight of the details of the judgment. So I'm sorry that we started late, but we are underway. Please share the broadcast. There have been various developments. You saw there the video I'm showing where the former Director General of the Zambia Medical and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, Mr. Nyasulu, he has joined politics. Remember, he joined the Patriotic Front last year, and last week he joined Citizen First, and today there was a matter where Tonse Alliance leader Honorable Brian Mundu was summoned to the Anti-Corruption Commission for investigations that they are doing. And Mr. Nyasulu turned up as to support Mr. Mundu. You remember every time there was any of the leaders in the opposition summoned by the police, all of us would go to that leader, whether it was Fred Membe, whether it was Given Lubinda, whether it was Sean Tembo, whether it was Zumani Zimba, whoever in the opposition fraternity was caught by the police, we always went there for solidarity. And Mr. Nyasulu also turned up today at the ACC. And for one reason or another, he was immediately bundled and totally, you saw how he was brutally handled and bundled into a police van like he's a sack, like he's a bag of meal. That amounts to police brutality. The cameras were rolling, and I'm glad that the cameras captured that. The police officer who was at the scene is the famous one. Many people remember when I took the late president Edgar Lungu for a walk. We were at the eligibility case at the Supreme Court grounds, and it was the full bench decided that they should adjourn the matter for a period of about 45 minutes to 1 hour. So he said the whole process of going back home and coming back, with the traffic in Lusaka, it was just not possible. So we decided that the president should go to Intercontinental for tea, and we decided to walk out. Now, that officer who was in charge there, Ronald Zambo, was in charge. And remember, he had an altercation with me. Mwamba, it's not your show. Because he said the president is not going anywhere. If he wants to walk, it won't happen. Let him jump in his vehicles and then go to Intercontinental. Then at the matter, remember when he had that altercation with Socialist Party president, when he stopped them when they were escorting Archbishop Alec Banda, and there was that famous viral video where Dr. Fred Membe was asserting to the he was deputy police commissioner at the time, and these police officers, that he is a lawyer and he should be allowed to pass. So today, Ronald Zambo stands promoted, is now Lusaka Province Police Commissioner, and is the one that was in charge when Brian Mundu arrived. And for those that are joining us, this is a video where they bundled ZAMSA, ex-ZAMSA Director General, Victor Nyasulu, who turned up to offer solidarity to Brian Mundu. It's okay, fine, it's all right. The Anti-Corruption Commission has since issued a statement that they are investigating cases of road contracts that were given to companies associated with Honorable Brian Mundu. Brian Mundu has been a businessman. I've known him for about 30 years. From the period I knew him, he was running businesses in Kaoma, in Solwezi, in Lusaka. He's always been a businessman, and he's been a contractor for many years. So the SEC says there are these roads that were given to his companies in northern Muchinga, Central Province, and Eastern Province, and they are alleging that advance payment of 1.5 million kwacha was given to these companies and works were not done. Having been permanent or bank guarantee, whichever came first, and if you defaulted, I ensured that I cashed that payment so that there is no loss to government. This is entirely a commercial transaction. Of course, they're trying to criminalize it because Brian Mundu has companies that are involved in this dispute. They want the issue to reach him as one of the directors, yet companies are legal personalities. And like George Sangalukasha MP said earlier, if, for example, let us assume the works were not done, you have an insurance guarantee on the file. Why don't you cash it? Why don't you monetize it before you criminalize the process? We'll not discuss that matter. It's under now investigations by the SEC, and Brian Mundu and his team will probably speak to that issue. Share the broadcast. This is a hot one. We are discussing the development that occurred today in the High Court, and I want to offer my opinion when I deliver the facts, and then we can discuss. Because remember, the ECZ have issued an electoral calendar where on 15th April, just literally 15 days from now, the electoral process kicks in. Presidential candidates must take to ECZ the members, the 1,000 supporters, 100 from each province. So there is no time. Everything becomes very important in that light. We have a fuel crisis from Livingstone, Choma, Lusaka, Kapirimposhi, Serenje, up to Nakonde. And we have a serious fuel shortage ranging from Chipata up to Solwezi. We have a countrywide crisis of fuel. I know government might attribute it to the crisis that is happening in the Middle East and the war between the US, Israel on one side and Iran on the other side that has waged war and closed, the Strait of Hormuz so that the 20% of fuel that goes to the world doesn't pass. It's been almost a month. But for a government that plans, you should have 60, 90, 120 days in your storage facilities. You should have security, energy security, up to 120 days. So if fuel has run out barely a month, and remember the fuel we have now was supplied months ago, then we have a crisis. It probably means we probably didn't have proper reserves for the country. That will be a topic on its own, I think, on Monday or Tuesday or Sunday, but it's a matter we should discuss because the country might grind to a halt. There are solutions. For example, Dangote in Nigeria now is pumping full throttle. He has capacity to supply literally the entire Africa. Maybe we should quickly stop buying from the Middle East and go to Dangote, line up and get that fuel. Take it to the port of Durban or Beira or Dar es Salaam so that we have fuel that is reliable. Our reliance on the Middle East fuel might just be a problem. Let's get to the business of the day. Remember, the Patriotic Front held a general conference. Some people didn't participate. They said we are waiting for the judgment that is coming up on March 27th. Everything that we'll discuss would come to this day, that we are waiting
for the judgment that will come up on March 27th. So which judgment were all these stakeholders waiting for? Today I saw a letter by a former Secretary General, Davis Mwila, telling the acting registrar of societies that in the event that the matter is won in the High Court, that the registrar must include him as office bearer because his name was originally on that paper. It's a side issue. What is before court is that Miles Sampa held a general conference, an extraordinary general conference on 24th October 2023. And we disputed that the general conference didn't follow any of the party statutes, any of the party regulations. We said Miles Sampa left behind his 8 other colleagues that had filed as presidential candidates. Since then, the matters have been in court, including subsequent matters. There was a matter where Miles Sampa fired 9 MPs. And this is one of the many matters that were in court. In this particular case, Nakachinda, as Secretary General of the party, with Brian Mundu and the other MPs, sued Miles Sampa to go to the crack of the matter because we had gone through injunctions, we had gone through preliminary matters. But what was the heart about all this is that the question of whether the PF held a general conference was what was at stake. And we wanted the courts to interpret if Miles Sampa's conference was a lawful, legitimate, and legally binding general conference according to the party statute of the Patriotic Front. So besides all the other cases that were there, everything now culminated on this case. This case had Raphael Nakachinda as petitioner with Brian Mundu and other MPs on one side. And on the other side, Miles Sampa. In the intervening period, Miles Sampa reconciled with the late president, Edgar Lungu. You must have seen those pictures. And the outcome of that was that, then why are we fighting in court? Why can't we restore the status? And the status began to be restored. President Edgar Lungu had appointed Raphael Nakachinda as Secretary General after the challenges we had with Honorable Nixon Chilangwa, whose substantive position was Deputy Secretary General, and with the persecution against him, he had now was in Mkobeko prison. So the president appointed Raphael Nakachinda as Secretary General. So Raphael Nakachinda is then the one that had sued Miles Sampa. So when the matter was reconciled, that okay, we've reconciled legally on the paper, to date, it's not Robert Chavinga, to date, from 2023, the one who's president of the PF has always been Miles Sampa. He's never been removed. If you look at the so-called Lugwalo, you will find that the expelled MP Robert Chavinga is a committee member. From 2023 to date, the president who's been on the PF Lugwalo has always been Miles Sampa. That has not changed. Number one fact. We are contesting those changes that the general conference that made the registrar of society make those amends was illegal. The decision of the registrar of society to make those amends, making Miles Sampa as president and committee member and others, was illegal. In our view, that's what we've always asserted. And the changes that subsequently occurred at Parliament, where Brian Mundu as leader of the opposition was removed, Stephen Kampiongo as chief whip, opposition chief whip was removed, and Anton Kasandwe as deputy were removed. We held that that entire chain is illegal. Changes at the Registrar of Societies and changes at Parliament were illegal. So we have been in court. So when a year later, Miles Sampa reconciled with the late president, we agreed, at the moment, Miles Sampa, you are the one appearing as president, cause the letters to be written. So there are about 3 substantial letters Miles Sampa wrote. Number one, he affirmed the appointment of of President Lungu of Raphael Nakachinda, Secretary General. Number 2, he wrote to Parliament to make the changes to remove. First, another action, was to remove Morgan Ngona. He removed Morgan Ngona as Secretary General, and Mao Sampa made himself as Secretary General. Then, as Secretary General and President, he wrote a letter to Parliament to remove Robert Chabinga, Anton Mumba, and others, and I think Shadiza MP, were removed from the books, and he proposed that new people should take those positions in Mulenga Kampamba, Kalulushi MP, and Brenda Nyirenda Lundazi MP, and Anton Kasandwe. Those changes were not effected. And we saw later that Morgan Ngona rushed to court to get an injunction against those changes. Number 1, to remove him. Number 2, to cause changes at Parliament. Number 3, to cause changes at the Registrar of Societies. That is a matter that has been in court. When we settled on a consent that there was now no need, you, Mao Sampa, and us are in one agreement. Given Lubinda is acting president, he has been tasked to convene a general conference that will give us a president. In between us, let us agree. And we signed a consent agreement. And that agreement was filed in court in May 2025. There were other developments where Morgan Ngona, who had put up an injunction to restrain Mao Sampa from firing him, that injunction, Judge Zulu threw it out in May 2025. Come August, September, November, you and I put pressure on this judge. We called her, she's a mercenary judge. She's just doing the bidding of the state. She's not willing to adhere to this. This is just mere consent. Why can't she agree? While she was determining that process, we saw Morgan Ngona once again and Robert Chabinga come to join to the dispute we had over the consent agreement. In November, the judge ruled on our consent that you have a main matter between Mao Sampa and myself and ourselves, the PF. So I'm going to determine that fact, especially that there's these third parties, Morgan Ngona and Chabinga, who have joined the case and are expressing interest that they held this conference. That resulted in their changes also to be part of the PF. So today, what we've been waiting for is that judgment, because she refused to sign the consent order. She said, look, we will not deal with the consent order. Let's go to full trial. Was this conference legitimate? So there was a full trial. There were 2 main witnesses. For us, the petitioners and plaintiff, Stephen Kampiongo represented us. He went through the constitution of the Patriotic Front, demonstrated how a general conference or extraordinary conference is held. On the other hand was Morgan Ngona, who asserted that the conference on 24th was a valid conference. But he also, when he was asked, there was that funny question. When he was asked, so how did you become Secretary General? He just said, Mao Sampa appointed me. But how did Mao Sampa appoint you? He couldn't explain. It was a matter of joke that day. So what has happened is that the judge has ruled that the conference that Mao Sampa held is valid, that Mao Sampa was justified to hold that conference. And she has pinned on her decision on 3 fundamental issues. She's saying, number 1, you, the PF, didn't have a central committee. She says, because Edgar Lungu resigned as president, Mukupangona as chairperson, Inonge Wina as vice president, and Davis Mwila as secretary general, they resigned. Therefore, there was no central committee. And she even uses the word laissez-faire. You were laissez-faire in resolving the leadership issue. So Miles Sampa's action were therefore justified. You have said that he didn't follow the party constitution. You have said he didn't hold national conference. You had said he didn't have adequate numbers. She said, you haven't brought evidence to me to demonstrate that he didn't have enough people, that the national conference was not held between Central Committee and members of parliament. She says you haven't brought that evidence. So to that effect, she ruled that Mao Sampa's convention is therefore legal and he was validly elected as president. What does this mean? Number one, the PF, of course, are dismissing that judgment. We had a Central Committee when President Lungu resigned. Remember, we've always bothered to explain that the Central Committee rejected that position and said, Mr. President, we are just sending you on leave. And the Vice President, given Lubinda, who had been appointed as Vice President to replace Woi Nongewina, became Vice President of the party and acting President of the Patriotic Front. So we are rejecting those assertions that the party didn't have a Central Committee. To replace Vamukupa, we got Davis Chama, the former defense minister, who was a member of the Central Committee, was appointed chairperson of the party. We got Nixon Chilangwa and appointed him as Deputy Secretary General to act as Secretary General. So the assertions by the judge that the party didn't have a Central Committee is just folly and mischief. So the PF has to decide whether they have to appeal, especially the misleading assumptions that the judge has made. Who are the beneficiaries and winners of this judgment? It is Mao Sampa. But remember, there was a development. So Mao Sampa held a proper conference according to the judge. Mao Sampa, therefore, is president. But there are other developments. In court, Morgan Ingona and Robert Chabinga came to join the case, which caused the matter to go to full trial. So the defendants in this case have won the case. This is Mao Sampa, Robert Chabinga, and Morgan Ingona. The three are the beneficiaries of this judgment, but the president is Mao Sampa. Who does it benefit most will be my second question. It benefits most Mao Sampa because just 2 weeks ago, he won a case in the same court to dismiss Morgan Ingona as Secretary General. Morgan Ingona has rushed to the Court of Appeal to attempt to stay the judgment of the High Court. That has declared, threw away his injunction and threw away his case to challenge his dismissal for want of prosecution. In ordinary English, is that he failed to prosecute the case. He didn't bother to do any of the things to defend that case when he obtained the injunction in 2024. So Mao Sampa has two judgments in that court. Today's judgment, where he has other defendants in Robert Chabinga and Morgan Ingona, and another judgment where Morgan Ingona was fired. And in all these cases, you should remember the most important person is Morgan Ingona as Secretary General. All the cases all of us have, we don't have a case with Robert Chabinga because it's inconsequential, either at a registrar of societies or in the law. The person who has been very instrumental in all this is Morgan Ingona. And Morgan Ingona, the court ruled that his case to have him dismissed, is too dismissed because he failed to prosecute that case. So Mao Sampa scores 2 points. One against the Chabinga group and against us, because against the Chabinga group, he scores a point where the judge ruled that the dismissal of Morgan Ingona now stands valid because his challenge, both the injunction and the main case, were thrown out. What is the way forward? There are these two issues. Number one, because the beneficiaries are three, Mao Sampa, Morgan Ingona, and Robert Chabinga. Robert Chabinga and Morgan Ngona are going to assert that after the conference, there were further developments. Mao Sampa will say, I reconciled with ECL and I removed Morgan Ngona and Robert Chabinga, and I actually even have another benefit from the court that has confirmed that decision of my removal of Morgan Ngona. Morgan Ngona and Robert Chabinga will assert that no. After Mao Sampa reconciled with Edgar Lungu, we decided to hold our central committee and we removed and expelled Mao Sampa. That is a fresh dispute that has to legally be settled. But as things stand now, it is Mao Sampa who's president. If Robert Chabinga and Morgan Ngona have to raise that dispute, Mao Sampa is going to say, no, I removed you first. Even by the time you were convening that central committee to remove me, you stood removed, and I wrote letters to the registrar, to parliament, and I caused the letters to you. So that's a fresh dispute that will emerge. Where is Mao Sampa now? Mao Sampa is located in the group which ECL left. ECL left the vice president, Honorable Given Luwinda. Many people have been asking me, so what is the status of Honorable Given Luwinda? Because now that he lost elections, where is he? Let me address that particular matter. The substantive position of Honorable Given Luwinda is that of vice president. Even today, the vice president of the Patriotic Front is Honorable Given Luwinda. However, he was acting as president following the demise of the late president. And before that, he had been appointed by the president himself to act as president. That grouping has held an election and has elected Makebi Zulu as president of that group. And that group has Mao Sampa part of it. Okay? So here what will happen is Mao Sampa, Honorable Makebi Zulu, Honorable Given Luwinda, they have to discuss whatever they will discuss. But at the moment, although Mao Sampa is president legally of the PF, is currently Deputy Secretary General, in the process where Makebi Zulu has been elected president. So they have to discuss internally and see how they can resolve that issue. What do we expect from Chabinga? Chabinga and Morgan Ngona are going to go to their fallen central committee and said, no, this judgment benefits us because we removed Mao Sampa. I've explained that. And then in the whole large scheme, what does it mean? What it means is that the PF still stands in limbo because there are two injunctions. There's one in Kabwe, which was obtained by Morgan Ngona. There, Mao Sampa has applied that he replaces Morgan Ngona because he won the judgment in the High Court. But that may be taken by events because Morgan Ngona went to the Court of Appeal and obtained another injunction to restrain Mao Sampa, to remove him as Secretary General. So he is Secretary General of this faction which has Mao Sampa as legal president because of that injunction in the Court of Appeal. That particular matter has been said to come up on 14th April 2026. If all this is confusing you, what it means is the matter still remains in court. The PF might appeal. Even if they do not appeal, they agree with Mao Sampa. There's still those two injunctions that Mao Sampa has to fight off. Yet the electoral calendar is ticking. On 15th April, presidential candidates have to take 100 supporters per province, 1,000. The electoral calendar has started. On 18th May, the presidential candidates have to file in. And strangely, if you have noted, the ECZ have revised that calendar, that all nominations will take place on 18th May. That's extremely strange. They expect that there will only be 3 presidential candidates. How can you set one day? Remember, the earlier calendar had put it that there will be nominations for presidential candidates from, 17th to 23rd. The revised calendar puts one day together with parliamentarians. Even the parliamentarians have to file on the same day. I have seen Dr. Cosmas Musumali, vice president in the Socialist Party, has written a strong letter to the ECZ that how can you let the nominations for presidents and parliamentarians take place one day? It's just not feasible. Why don't you separate? And also, why don't you extend the days? There are those things happening. That is the state of the PF. It's still in legal limbo. The beneficiaries and the biggest person who has won in all this is Malsampa. He titles himself Mbappe. For the judgment, it's a ridiculous judgment. Totally ridiculous, I can tell you. When I was speaking to one of the former senior judges, even says that judgment is a candidate to the JCC. Why don't you write to complain? Because the findings are just absurd. But as we are, you and I are obliged to respect court orders and court regulations, is that Malsampa is a PF president. And I'll open phone lines for you to contribute, say your piece. We're discussing the issue of my dear brother Brian Mundu earlier and the fuel shortage. If you have any views about that, also there, you are welcome. Let's open the phone lines and let's have that discussion.
But what is the problem? Let him talk. Listen, let him talk. What's your problem? No, you let him talk. No, don't point at him like that. No, why is he pointing at him like that? You should have respect. No. Put him in the one. No, let's point at him like Anyway, let him talk to him. What's your problem?
The Human Rights Watch International issued a report last week here in New York, and they expressed concern that Zambia may not have free and fair elections because political opponents are being denied the right to express themselves. Political parties are being deplatformed. What we are hearing is not good, where they've targeted certain political parties. And we understand that they are determined that the PF will not be on the ballot at all cost. And that's why you are seeing these legal maneuvers where mercenary judges have just delivered that issue. They are determined that the PF should not be on the ballot. They're also targeting people like Brian Mundu, as you have seen. He's been all fine. All of a sudden, 5 years later, they remember that Brian Mundu is a contractor. Now they remember that there are roads he did or he did not do 5 years later, only because he's now set his sight on the presidency. All of us have been harassed and arrested, and the Human Rights Watch International report summarizes this very well. Other reports, such as the United Nations Human Rights Council report, the United States country report, the State Department one country report on Zambia, have all affirmed the state where Zambia is. The lines are open. My phone was off. You can now call. Nipa Friday lelo. We let people rest. So if you have anything to say, make your contributions. The line is open. We were discussing the PF judgment that has said Mao Sampa's conference was genuinely held, was validly held. That's what the judgment has said. I saw the write-up on Kalemba that Robert Chabinga wins case now. The case was only resolving the issue of conference. Was it genuinely held? And it has held that the conference that was held by Mao Sampa is a valid conference. That's where it ends. It has not discussed what has happened, what will happen to Mao Sampa or Robert Chavinga or Morgan Ingona. And again, you have to look at it in totality with the other cases. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contributions.
Hello, this is from Livingston.
Bamwamwa bombeni.
Only that I'm grounded. Takuri diesel.
There's no fuel in Livingston.
Yeah, kuri diesel. I just shapa Facebook what nakuri abeshibyo kuri diesel. Umwatsanja squati. Ili ku petrol da but feel off nyoka something.
Mkwai.
Takuri fuel.
Yeah.
Takuri fuel. I've been looking for it from 10 hours. There's no fuel completely. The trucks we're grounded. Oh my God. We're grounded. And when you ask about filling stations, when they might have it, they are saying likely Sunday, likely. Sunday, likely. So, I don't know what we are going to do. Maybe if we ever come up border towns, we can try to maneuver to Botswana and Zimbabwe. But I can imagine these who are in far-flung areas, it's a serious problem.
Landen Poyama Wangu, thank you on the fuel.
I think like by Garungu Varandire, our guys are to pay the PF. So it was even good that we did that conversion on no name, so that we can dive on any vehicle that we feel it to be fit going on it. Because all like our judgments are, what are they trying to do? The judiciary integrity na ipwa. Number what kind of a country is this? So, open the politics how na the government. And I don't know nobody gas very for which the very gas very for which open the above manpower. Fish very for I want to talk about Kishepo. Fish I want to talk about what do they want people to remember them for?
Yes.
Because there is too much poverty, Ambassador. There is too much poverty in the country. The other issue that I have for unity amunankan. Unity am PF. I am election ya Pitria. I understand the political ama bruises here or there. That is no more. The thing is that we Edgar Ungware bombaneting and the Mutu of Mineko Edgar Apparat Vikapo replacement Makebizur. Bisheto Afro Suminati Makebizuru now in Chito Afro Suminati Saimia Choraboy. Position Femuya Yaruvene Paria. It experience the Mulida Central Committee on Manavarungu. It's still behind the Makebizur. Makebizur, Teruburu, Aquena, Ruburu Chalo. There's some Musarafe. No, but there is a lot of frustrations among some of the people that participated. Yango?
Yes.
So, so you find that me, I'm very certain unity is at stake in the party. And now I wish that I saw Makebizuru making efforts to meet some of the candidates who participated. But we need the unity in the party. Let us rally behind Makebizuru. Makebizuru pakawati walungu ale inda na we na pakemfwa or banda pakawati wale inda na Makebizuru pakawala warupia banda bafwa. uyo muntu bali mukitekere ire emyaka palendera balungu n'abarupia banda nisho omuntu nayishiba ekyalo nayishiba abantu abasoma n'ababi mwe wakwe so firaba kateeka aleta omuntu mupepi nishitamu kyetekera and Makebi Zulu is a very humble man who takes advice from everyone. So irefendero mbako fe ama members beso wa PF, it's not about the personal interest, it's about the national interest. We are doing this for our country, not for our personal interest. Let us see Makebi Zulu yekatakule kwangaya na muna wa take up wale foku bombabeka muna inchalo kochile. That's what it is the whole of Zambia. And then shishi benga badi shichano kushanga nga ichiri ya chalo, I don't know. So Makebi Zulu alikuwa mutima w'abantu. Tulefwa omuntu kwetoruse. Tulefwa omuntu ule muno munanko ngo muntu. Noti umuntu munanko alifwa afira no kushika.
Thank you, Amwewa. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and give us your contributions. They can stay increase volume. I think no mumbi piriaba. Mayo, mwabombeni.
Enchita mkwaita tamwabombeni aratureni nama basi tatukwita mafiwe wala kutuwase kefire chitika buchalo muno.
Yeah, nama minibus yenana ofiwe yala hapo.
Like kuno kuchongwe ndemieva all filling stations along Great East Road, no fuel. Very soon takwabe nama minibasi twalambo kweishe njinga shave ishikulu. No baba bashimwamba ushena mumwishiba uli omuntu bachita bando mu police vehicle lero
ni director general former director general Victor Nyasulu emkwai.
Yes, Victor Nyasulu ukumuposa like that is not a thug, a very educated person. Ero da mwishibe chalo fochiri. Nangu satana aka ejoina ku UPND wakachita celebrate. Bantu barefu afya bali bonse. No mbodi na mano. Ngakuti bachita treat Nyasulu fidia. What about ye ababa mushani na bwali? Abere mkuba join at the 11th hour. Elo yesterday inashirafu no kulanda pwefifi akuma koti bashimwambanga muleyibukisha inena lelanda from the word go and isha lelanda fye bakadabwa talasala pukapako efiri no kuchitika mingarato pa mingarato ababa UPND bemonati walishipula until surprised. Ama statement sare fumakuri ba kasaru ba Electoral Commission of Zambia. Is that his job? But it's regulate. Then I'm afraid to conduct my elections. But what they are issuing, if you are registrar of society, what do they have to do with that? Olochonde chita caution. Fuema supporters, aba Mundu bide. Aba Makebi, aba Luwinda, aba Chimba Kambwiri, lekeni tule kukwambana. Bushoko mfuashani, iwole pontera mundu, or let's say inende pontera mundu bide. Nadiranda popari mundu bide omukumu, mwatara mwamfuana bweke shap. Andinde fiabantu, through experience. Tuirala ndesi vipadi any candidate. Ushoka shala kuisa ule ponta ero yo inole supporta de pontera mundu bilero Makebi fya mfwana chikanshape. Nangunde pontera balubinda ero bako mfwane iwe chikakushape. Ero chimbi chimpa puishe ni ababa chitire petition. Makebi was not part of the process of that elections. Eva lechita hando. Ba Mausampa is our SG political. It's not a fidia. And the constitution, yes, me. I was a stakeholder in holding the party constitution ya PF Nadi Shiva, because I think I'm the longest serving Secretary General mu party yesu. Takwa baba muamba spare wa constitution. Ukuchita petition ama results ya my elections ya dea saride makebi after ba commissioner na bachita announce. They were supposed to do that before the elections were announced. What constitution are they following? Because once a Paraniva MCC. So we wait and see what will happen. Eroba Mudoro. We withdrew just like Mao Sampa. My brother also withdrew on his own. Petition which they called the sham. Mao Sampa edatala ndilefyo. Still withdraw out of dignity of the secretariat. That's my understanding. How can he change today at a registered petition? Allah, umuine wa mingala toba mwamba mwarishi batiniresa. If you're tupanga, if we as human beings, amapange yesu, emapange akwaresa. Bashimwamba abantu mu Zambia, I've never seen abantu kupepe fibale pepa. Shatara monapu. Mulino kumonefiri no kuchitika mu Zambia. Ero ba mundubire na makebi. Ababale ita makebi ati adi rusa my elections kumalambo. Are you aware that ba mundubire ba adi rushire kumpoloko? So not once like makebi, but twice. That pa. That's why tuira ponte finto fota tuishive. Because bakapaka fike nshita bakomfuana chika tushape. Let us pray for unity of purpose, because we only have one enemy, the abrogators of our Zambian constitution, which they sought to uphold. Mwakwata na speaker avaresha na parliament, and we are ashamed. And we say we are following Commonwealth standards. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you, Mario. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and make your contributions. Endita.
East London, South Africa.
Oh yes, Carol. Make your contributions.
Yeah, ndefo kulanda pyachawe ifirechitika kumwezi utafilewama. Nomba ipo kwebekala chalo kwema Zambians. Kumone ofo bale futula abafyashi. Kuba posa kumonte ukafija. Na abantu bonse bale tamba. Nomba ipo tuleti poshani pali ifirechitika. Olo ifirechitika chachini kwa kweba basa pingula choba Mao Sampa ba president ba PF. Olo nishba Mao Sampa ba dirandati atibena tabaka chiteko nani kani. Tule bale angata ba nani. Nisha ino chitapo opotuli. Because nangu bale umemingala tuwa ishmatishi mingala tu. So ipo kweba kule tuwa isula meso. No kumona nishi iyalale ngati tukabwekeshe kwaba. Olo na bena abalete mingala tu. Balete mingala tu shamsango sham, because abalete mingala tu tabali pona background abantu balefwaya balepo kupela chance makepi ku. So ifyo so abantu bafile bayishi bamone ni chalo ko chidera abena kainde tabalenaka tabuli Petro mchalo tabane kubale state chonse abo bali yakale. So abantu bafile bapekanya nomba besu ya meso ukumona no kubika lisa fantage. Eto na chakwa ngandi bashimwa.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
This is Precious Inonge Mleta from Livingston.
Yes, Precious Inonge, make your contributions.
Yes. First, I want to talk on what happened there at the ACC where Brian Mundu went. I really felt bad to see that that man was he was mistreated in that manner and in front of Honorable. And the Honorable Mundu, he didn't even show the care. Coming to this issue of PF, when I told the nation myself that the President Vakandechema I don't mean well, it is him making Ningalato right now. When we told the people that they should not support that evil bill, you can see what happened in Kalumbila there, where they can even bury a woman without the family knowing. All those are the things that they want now to be doing. And the people of Zambia, they are in darkness, they don't know. What is in that bill? They want to be hiding into criminality, and that's the truth. And trying by all means so that they can remain in power. So President Vakande Chema, he is pretending like he's not involved in whatever Wachavinga is doing. But every time when Wachavinga comes live, he tells the nation that they are in alliance with President Vakande Chema. But when I published those letters, which was saying that Vakande Chema is trying to destabilize leadership of the PF government, he sent me in prison that I made false documents. And when I was sent in prison, I saved and I finished my days. I've been appealing to him to say, I accuse you of being behind the gassing and also to try to destabilize leadership of PF government. Show that leadership. Patriotic Front is an anchor party. So if this Patriotic Front is not going to be on the ballot, how can you deny that he is not him who is behind everything? If they are going to fail to arrest the gassers, how can we believe that indeed it was the PF who was gassing innocent Zambians? Because he has got instrument of powers and he has got all the powers to instruct officers to arrest the original criminals. Because the criminals is protecting, those are the same criminals who are still taking law in their hands even now, and they are still doing a lot of criminality. So please, wise concerned citizen, we beg you in God's name, don't allow the UPNG to mistreat the people of Zambia. Don't give them any chance. No matter the Mingalato they are going to play, please, we ask International Criminal Court of Law, let them come in and save the people of Zambia. God bless you. God bless Zambia. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and your contributions.
Embira ya mushita bayasukira.
Mkwaiba never had me landeni po.
Mkwai. Apa tufiretu ababa salapoka sana noti na panono. Mkwai. Na totera kumashuya ntu bachifuwa mkulanda wa mayowa mumbipiri na wambi abashala. Kanabesa tufiretu ababa bantu abakuikatana. Pakati hapana limona kwa liko tu shani kutoa kwamba limbyukula chita kula sontane minwe chiriaine parwandi pali ndakai na lichita withdraw mukusontane minwe echo ndero mbapa kuikatana mkwai echo ndero mba kuikatana echo na litotera last time wero ba mundu bile bali mu maseoze naisa mona honorable Makebi Zulu ekwali naisa mona honorable given Ruvinda ekwali vaikatana na mumino echo ndero mbokutira tefa tufretu vaikatana chintu chimwe chabulanda sana ichire mfisho obubisana kana besa bamomba wezo na mwebe kana sharo ukula mona kiri na chimona lero ku SCP kana besa ukuisa ikata batata balya ukuisa baposa mumotoka ichakuta tine nkumba tetu ichite muli uli omusango so ine ndero mbabe na Zambia kutira ati wonse chapamu na tuikatane tufumye kwa kainde chirema na tuikatane mwebe na Zambia wonse pandu 5 years na imbi kumupera kainde chirema nishini mfwa shetu 5 years na imbi kumona fire chitika bamwamba wezo awe ni mfwa yesu so ene ndero mba wonse kutuba baba balubinda kutukwa baba Makebi Zulu kutukwa ba fweba yana ba brand mundubire okutira tuikatane chapa mufe tumufumye po uyu akaende chirema tafiwe meba mwamba tafiwe mesana sana kuimwena phenomenon so yenwa papa mwambe pomwe you can't like it so ine ekulomba kwandi so inelia shiria kwamba okulanda pali makepi zulu kwati nalilibikana aside uko kutalisana chifano wakulanda pali nonsta wakulanda pali ba given rubinda tetimu temwe nangu panono wakulanda pali bonse fyaba bantu then twalaisa kulya shiria bakana besaba sampa mouse abenga bale mona videos byantunalefumya pakati palya nalishokutira ati bamausampa tabayishire in good faith kupia PF before na balungu tabalafu nangwapu tabalungu bafu. So bamausampa has been playing in Mingalato. He has been playing in Mingalato ukutira ati limbi ala kwanisha okusenda abantu bonse
awe badmen awe nshamisa mini chef yo ifo chila bushutwikala na mao sampana mu meeting iyo muifikoko muifikoko.
Okay,
thank you very much. Thank you. Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Tandiwe Keti Shingoma is my name.
My dear analyst and researcher, make your contributions.
Yes, Ambassador. I just want to thank President Hakainde Hichilema for what he has turned the police service into. We now are seeing the police brutality which he condemned himself, MUPF. And what we are seeing is even more than what used to happen in PF. And continue doing that because beating citizens. What the police are doing, beating citizens. So August 13th, they will vote for you because they love to be brutalized by the police. Police brutality in a democratic country, Zambians love it. I can assure you, Zambia, do more of it, beat more citizens, arrest them more. Since this makes you happy, it makes you happy, do more. You can't handle a person like Wanyasulu the way he was handled. We know you to be the police service. But now, the police has turned into a UPND operative, driving the agenda of President Hakainde Hichilema. The UPND count members are very happy with what happened to the Banyasulu. Imwe, this is not the Zambia I knew. Police Mundu Musangolia. If they can do that to that man, where does it leave you? You and I are not safe. And this is the Zambia that HH Aletutualako, a police, not a service now. This is a police force. Police brutality is the order of the day. The police, even if the police is not happy with how the citizens are conducting themselves, don't they know the right procedures? Why should somebody be manhandled like that? But police, kudos. You are doing well for HH.
Thank you.
Come 13th August, we are going to vote for him again because police brutality is what Zambians love. Abash police brutality.
Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Yes, Wamunkonge.
Ambassador, Tinalava, Mutumwa mpera kwa namba ya wamwe wangu, mawapera kwa namba yangu.
Okay.
Wamwe waku Livingstone.
Okay.
Mkwa, Ambassador, nena raranda ko first pachipani. Ukulingana nefe mulondorwere okwewa lugwalo luli mu maboko yaba mausampa. Then ukwisalingana nechipani ba mausampa niba General Secretary ba Cape Zulu, niba President, niba Given Lubinda, niba Vice President. Nabandi bakonka kuba 16 mukandira bashani. So pali kama kashita epo ipepala liri mu maboko y'aba General Secretary para balero lela ibira ndona shimbi report. So kutina lomba ku ba President wa Cape Zulu apandera nda pa mukati muchipanishiranda ofya amapepala ya President. Mukati muchipanya the General Secretary na ba President wa Cape Zulu wa Vice President.
Yep, you can call back. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contributions.
My name is Lungu Aliki, calling you from Osaka.
Yes, Lungu Aliki.
Yes. I want to make a contribution. Mwamba, PF is a party that has lawyers in it. That has people of all trades and knowledge. For them to continue like this, it makes me wonder. Comrade Mwamba, few weeks from now, people will be registering their candidates in ECZ. Now, if the PF, the party that everyone wanted, the party that everyone thought is the vehicle for removing President Hakainde Hichilema, is still fighting this battle today. Are we really sure that we are the PF will go on ballot? Truly, it's worrisome, Comrade Mwamba. It's very worrisome. What the PF and other people needs to do is to join hands with President Harikalava. President Harikalava is the brother for PF. Wherever he's talking about, you hear him, you will not insult PF, he is not bad-mouthing PF. Few days ago, we saw him with President Makebi trying to put things together. I think the PF should understand and know to say, the UPND is playing on their mind. It will be too late for them to realize what to do next, and by then, they will have nowhere to go. So for now, my contribution, Comrade Mwamba, is let the PF join hands with President Harikalava, because as far as I know, the elections, in democracy, the election, the winner is not always the person who is voted by the majority. It's the person who is just voted, who has used Mingala to just win the few individuals. Because take, for instance, the elections that happen in Chawama, the elections that happen everywhere else. When you take the numbers for the winner and those for those that have lost, you put them together, you will know to say the majority didn't vote for that winner. It's the same that happens in Kasama. So it's the same Mingarato that the UPND want to play. They are fueling in and selling in Mundubile. At some point, Comrade Mwamba, I doubt if Mundubile, what they are doing is marketing Mundubile so that he divides votes for the PF. All those things they know to say, we are marketing him. And they are doing that because they know to say we are dividing vote for these, for the opposition. Because when we are talking about the opposition today, Comrade Mwamba, we are talking about Harikalava, President Makebi, and the few. So if these leaders that are of PF roots divide the votes, HH is going to win. So it's now time, it's not too late. Let Makebi, let Mndubile, let everyone go and sit down with President Harikalava. So who leads? Take for instance, the instance for Edgar Chagwalungu. He came in and he became a president. You all supported him. And at the end of the day, it was the PF in power. I think that's my contribution, Comrade Mamba.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There's been development in the UPND. I've seen a letter posted by Garin Kombo where he's accepting his removal as chairperson for elections. It has been posted on his page, but it's showing 2027. So Garin Kombo, please kindly correct your letter. It's showing 27 February 2027. I've also put this letter on my page, and it says he was removed in February, and the new appointee is Honorable Ikando Mfalali, I think former Senanga MP. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and tell us your...
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you.
Good evening.
My name is Dalisa Timbo. I'm calling you from Nwansha.
Mm-hmm.
My contribution, first and foremost, is I would want to upload Makebi Zulu and President Hadi Kalaba. You know, coming in together and having some liaison in order to forge ahead so that we can have the much needed unity and see how best we can work together as opposition, bringing our heads together, because this is what we need so that we can work to see that we have a better Zambia, unlike the Zambia that we are seeing today. We've witnessed so many injustices that have been happening. We've witnessed so many suffering. Truck drivers are suffering. Marketeers are suffering, the youths are so much unemployed. But I think it is about time that all opposition political parties, you know, there are certain things at this point where we are, Mwamba. Even if we were to go to court, we try and find and fight. Looking at the people we are dealing with, we are not capable of having to attain what we so much desire, but rather let us recognize and look at the people that are going to help us. That's why for me, at this moment, I want to applaud the decision that have been taken by President Makebi Zulu and President Hari Kalaba, that they need to come together and see how best they can unite for the good cause of the Zambian people. The Zambian people have time and again spoken about wanting a united opposition so that they could remove the UPND government that has so much troubled the people. For me, I think it is about time that people should start looking beyond personal gains, but rather look at the critical aspects that are needed to show the good governance and leadership that people expect of Zambia. The Zambian people are the people that we need to save. We don't need to save individuals. And as we make the decisions, let us look at the majority of the Zambian people that need the peace, that need the justice, that need good health services, that need a little basic necessity that can be afforded, unlike what we are seeing today.
Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contributions.
Good evening, Ambassador. This is Anonymous from the land of AI.
Anonymous, make your contributions.
Yes, sir. So just a couple of comments, sir. Thank you again for this wonderful show where we can air our views. I think I'll start with a side comment and say, see, we are living in a political dispensation where when you see a politician walking freely on the streets in Zambia, you lose trust in them. So that is why you might find that some people, unite. Some of us are a bit hesitant because when you see a politician, they are free, you begin to wonder, is this person in good books with HH? So you begin to wonder. Just a side note for people out there to keep thinking about. Let me come back to the Patriotic Front. I want to say that the PF is not just a document at the registrar's office. It's not just a document at the registrar's office. It's the people on the ground. It's the voters. The green ghost lives inside the people. So when people say, oh, PF Tabaka, what are you talking about? We are still here. They can get the paper, but Makebi Zulu, a president, and we are voting for him. They can't stop us. It's not like we're checking out OPF, so let's not be cheated that what we need to do as Zambian people is to unite behind the leader. Let's not cause this feeling that, PF that's hopelessness. Let's not bring hopelessness in the opposition. Okay? Rather, let's show them that whether it is the small and known party that we use, it will go. If once NCP said that we are supporting, we want Makebi to stand, they went and nyonga the NCP. So other parties, they say, no, come and work, and there's no nyongering happening. You begin to actually wonder what is going on. So, Ambassador, I want to say that Makebi has the structures of the Patriotic Front. Makebi Zulu has the structures of the Patriotic Front, and that is what matters. The election on the 21st guaranteed that. Makebi has command of the members of the Patriotic Front. He is the strongest opposition leader today. You know, we can count from the minimum 1.8 million people that we had in the last election. Those are already on his books. So now we just have to build on top of that. There's no political party, no leader who wants to stand, whether as independent or with a party or whatever, that can reach that. So those who would like to partner with us should come very, very humbly and we discuss. And Makebi Zulu has shown magnanimity and he has shown that he's willing to partner with others. Let's not have this notion of disparaging the PF like it's finished. Even the courts are failing to lock us down. You will see very soon we will have the victory. The PF is still very much alive. Even if we go on a different ticket, but we are not a hopeless people. We are very much alive and we know what we want. Thank you very much, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello. Good evening, Ambassador. You are talking to Mr. Chifunda here.
Yes.
From Lusaka, Zambia.
Yes, Mr. Chifunda.
Yes. I'm so proud of the work that you have been doing lately. And we are behind you, basically. Continue doing what you are doing. I want to raise few concerns that I've seen in this country over the last 4 years that has bothered me. Firstly, this government that we are in has failed to deliver in any promise that they have ever said. We were in load shedding for 4 years straight. And now we don't even have any trace of load shedding. Meaning that if these people win, we're going to go back.
Has he hung up?
Been so heartless. They have arrested almost everyone that I know that is a potential president. From Kambwili, everyone that is prominent has been arrested. And today we saw what happened at the anti-corruption. Where were they all this time that they might bring Brad Mundu to police today over things that happened in 2015? Just because the other day he stood against what they think is not okay. This will not take UPND anywhere. I've seen Wakandile defecting, coming to the UPND. It shows you clearly now that they have really failed. So my advice to you is, let's run with Makebi Zulu. Makebi Zulu is an anointed man of God that God has chosen for this country. There is no man that will be able to stand against that guy. So that's why he has not even been touched until now. He's the guy who made them stop from what they were trying to do with the body of Edgar Lungu, because the hand of God is on him. I am a man who knows him personally, a friend and a brother to him. And today I decided to call because it's too much. Mr. Mwamba, you will see, for as long as God lives, the mistakes that these men are making you don't need to fight them. They will fight themselves and chase themselves away from this country. Thank you very much, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, the line is busy. Let's keep on taking the calls, as many as possible, so that we hear from you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
This is Alfred calling from Lusaka.
Yes, Alfred. Make your contribution.
To Mr. Zambo, this newly promoted Commissioner of Police for Lusaka.
Yes.
Just an advice. He's too excited. He should know that political power is so temporal. He is a professional. He can serve anyone even after this UPND is out of power. He should turn.
Have you? What's happening to that? Hello. The numbers are hanging. Yes, my brother, I think you are back.
I was on hold.
Mm.
You are putting on hold. Yes. So Mr. Zambo must turn down and execute his duties professionally. He has got his family. It won't be good for him to lose a job. And you know, you can't please a politician if you are a professional. If you try to please a politician when you are a professional, then you are trying to mess up your career and you are trying to mess up yourself. Politicians can be brutal on you. When UPND government is kicked out of power, I'm telling him they can come for him and mess him up. So he shouldn't try by all means to please disappointing powers, but he should execute his duties within the confinement of the law and regulations of the police service. Manyasuru did nothing wrong deserving such kind of a treatment or a reaction or a response by his troops. That was wrong, totally wrong. Manyasuru is a parent. You can't treat him in such a manner. No. Then coming to Judge Zulu, how did she become a judge? Same things, trying to please the politicians. Where are we going as a country? We have been addressing these issues for so long.
Oh, that line is cutting. Hello, caller. Let's go to another one. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Ambassador ndeko selesha kushavya na Zambia kiramwale era ndokweba pangeni ntungurushi for president nomba natkwata ba president ba Market Zulu na ba vice president natkwata muchipani ba given winda na ba general secretary natkwata ba Mausampa. So tamukwele mwambo kusakamana special vehicle taishupile kule mbafye lero na mweba bamunchendesha kusana mwishi bya tintungurushi oko shiri ndero mbako na kuli ba president ba Market Zulu kubika pona ba vice president ba given Rubinda bamoneko ama structure ngo yabiriyo renga tandaliramo mu Lusaka mo bali chararanga nako nabali okutali bamoni okweba tabantu aba bali pamo pantu abarwani besu bara preaching ifya ufi na papene bakalemba na bachitapa brishi ukweba ti ba Mausampa ila judgment ni fake na babika kwa news abantu balembere ako batu ba Mausampa baba pere chipani na babika ko ponse fake pakweba ti bachite disturb abantu barona aromba ko nakumunanji uyu umunanja timbira ya mushi na umona na uisa pali ba mwambapa wamba nokula koseresha unity lero ndekulomba ko bamwamba wali bafunisha ama video ashawama ngaba fyashi besu ngara turengo kumona kwa chilimba PF tatwa ikatana so ufuyo wapanga ambya ma video aya kulombo bwelelo kuba fyashi beso ba mwamba yara wafunya ulela nda pali ba mawa mumbipiri atibara nda bwino lero before tawra pera preach ya unit first ifunye we mwine fira waru fyenye walombo bwelelo kuba fyasha papali ino nshita turefwa emibere isuma taturefwa abantu kura tsonta bafule bare tsonta ba PF aba muchinshi aba ikatana aba pero muchinshi kuri bana mayo kuntungushisha obarubinda kuri ba mausampa aba fyashi besunga bare kusana tatufule turepone namo fule tuareka aba fyashi bapushama ama issues abenenga aba fyashi oro baisa kuri fwe bana chomwe bena Zambia pona pera Makep Zulu into president Rubinda vice president general secretary Mbappe one man Mausampa na pera mkwai.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, Mwabombeni, nameless, calling from no man's land.
Yes, yes.
Bamwamba. Yes, Bamwamba, Mwabombeni. Yeah, Mkwai. Bamwamba, I'm just going to combine the two. Yeah, first and foremost, the world is watching. We are watching everywhere. What happened today was something very, very bad, yeah. When they had to drag somebody who is so educated, like in Kumba, we are watching, the whole world is watching. Now, this actually makes me realize with what had happened, with our Helen, the one who was murdered, because no one was there to help her. But then you find that a lot of police officers are surrounding just one single person, which is very sad. But Ambassador, we breathe through your platform. And I have a completely different subject. In fact, I'm going to talk about...
Uh-oh. Is a line cut?
Still bleeding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Continue, yes. You are there.
I'm saying that my heart has bled and is still bleeding profusely here. I'm a woman who is talking on behalf of every woman who at this time of speaking is being abused. Bamwamba, every sex is born of a woman. A woman is a real caregiver. The death of Helen has shocked the entire world. It has taken me so long to come down. Yeah. That such pain she endured has left a scar in most of us. Those involved in her killing should be harshly punished regardless of anything. In my view, Bamwamba, they need mental checkups. Where on earth can such happen in a so-called Christian nation? Parents, where are you, parents? Where are you? Why have we turned down our molarity? What education are we giving to young children to become good citizens? Bamwamba, it's so sad. Coming back, to the politicians, I concur with Bamama Mumbi, Piri. Let's put the hands together. I watched you yesterday, when you were featured on one of the TV platforms. Most of the people who got Bamwamba, they were preaching on coming together. This is the time we need to pull up our socks. We know exactly what's happening. The world is watching.
Thank you very much, Maya. Thank you. Okay, may our soul rest in eternal peace. The death of that lady, Helen, has disturbed all of us. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you, Bamwamba. This is Sinyangwe Dani.
Yes, Mr.
Bamwamba, I'll take your words. I think like 6 months ago you said
How I'm advising you Zambians, especially Patriotic Front members, PF can make you or destroy you. I think these were the words I would say today, to say, look, I am thankful to God to alia convention to asala no unga tungulula PF. Now, the thing is, once abantu balishwe fyachitika mu PF, we know why PF is in this situation. But Loisa na tufunya mulya, na tusalila ne tungulushi Makebi Zulu. Once abantu abatemwa PF, tien tufile ke fili fo tule umfoma judges and every tuiposa kona amano. Apanomba, tieni tule ya na ba Makebi Zulu. Na bali abale fo kukonka ba Makebi Zulu. Tien tuikatane pamo. Because hii country, if intifingina afilu ba na ba mwamba. Mwaneni ba mwamba. Uliom kashano vaipe kulia kunofu western. If we have these policemen that are mining political opponents like the way they are doing, do you think that lady would have died in Northwestern because that lady was paraded in the streets and the police were not there to protect the life of that innocent person? And then there he is today. We have a president who, or what he has done in the past 5 years, or I can see the development that he's brought to the Zambian people, is for him now he's got so many doctorates. While the Zambian people are more divided, the Zambian people don't have anything to give to their children. All my appeal is, mwebantu bonsi muleo mfuatieni tulande tuikatane pamoja na bali abena abantu mulefu okuba president. Let's work together, because if we don't work together, what lies ahead of us? You've seen what is happening. Do you want this to continue? Thank you, Bamwamba. Lesale Mpala Lyonse. God bless Zambia. And let us not stop praying for the Lungu family, because no family should ever go for what they have gone through, ever in this history of Zambia. God bless Zambia.
Yeah, many people are telling me that they've seen an article by Kalemba saying ruling on 24th, rules that 24th October PF convention was legal, and that Robert Chavinga is president. No, Kalemba must apologize. I've read the judgment. Nowhere has that judgment said that. In fact, the judgment discusses Mao Sampa's election and then argues with the facts that was presented by the Patriotic Front. That kind of misleading by such a huge platform is extremely dangerous. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Yeah, Bamwamba. Good evening, Mr. Mo.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Webster calling from Garden House. Yeah, I just want to contribute about what is happening in country. So, in Nikamba Paliva President Harry Kalava. So, President Harry Kalava is one leader who's open to each and every politician background. As we can see, Mazomazo, Anashkukumana na President PF.
Oh, that line is cut. It's not. Lines. Oh, yeah, you are still there.
Yeah, so, Barikalavat, Gawatanka, as valida watu, I think Zambia ingachinje and State Katzane as opposition leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go. I think we... Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contributions. Mwabombeni.
Yeah, Mwendit Mina Kopa Beoni. Chakualira po congratulations kuri ba Mao Samba. Okwe bati ba party president ba PF kuri ya faction ya yari. Nombana chwa mukusango kwe bati ba Mao Samba. Eba kweta maka kuria ya control na badia. Elephone nga bachita advise ba Mao Samba. Ama politics man numbers. bake kale nangona na chavinga wine koze bakwetamaga bakalanchanye na bena bada abantu bakenderefe na bena chapa mukairi ndi balete ama politics na bena bakwire bate ama politics be bakwatiri mbibakwati babasura bada guys babiri bangona na chavinga bakese betafe pambali bakabazembereke bakalanchanye na bena so that na tonso to tushereko tunkofyo tunonoto tukapwe then ngabale moneka kwati bali kuside ya ruling party kasi ne baleba wombi bakakwata ama parties yabi indi vyeko bakafwaye kuri group ya ba president Makebi Zulu so that ngakwaisa bali ama nomination cause hapana batea indi ya PF original PF limbi kuti basa abakwati babachinga so bakakwata ama parties.
Thank you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contributions.
Ambassador Mwabombeni wa John Mabo kuno kuitali mkwai.
Mkwai wa Mwabombeni.
Mkwai, thank you. I hope mkishoguno no kwa ambassador.
Iyolesa let's sunga mwe wantu wa kwalesa.
We hope accompany kumisunga. These unprecedented times today kalamo. Mkwai. Kwa na ambassador take contribution kwete feri kusho. Mkwai ine na ishvati Didia kwadi at Atlantic slave trade. Although to the firm Africans to the land that okay, atrocities were committed against us. Then Kurava land that to reform reparations to them for Ghana added to the table Shanshan United Nations Shanshan. No, but either royal which we played because in on our shows or in our lands, those chiefdoms, kingdoms. No, this ship. No, some deals were made, usually with traditional chiefs. Bracelets, gunpowder, shan, go defeat that other tribe, so that you give them as slaves to us. So we played a role, and it's important to recognize this. That's why in a Patriotic Front, confusion maybe a ruling party the Patriotic Front. Ama enablers niba nani within the Patriotic Front. I think enmity is within because aba lingero gutira maybe we're ruling if they play the part. But when shogusta interfere in internal issues here Patriotic Front, niba nani from within Patriotic Front. And I know Kilama Zambia and Zavengi, they are even aware of some of these internal issues here Patriotic Front. And we still see some of those same people who were treacherous, even when the PF were in power. Wherever Kandile, treacherous people, because at the core, but PF, the leadership here, PF is patriotic. But whatever Kandile, and still, but were embraced. So now we can see all these wrangles were deepened. Then when I progress, Council Makebi Zulu Babasala, then Kudiva, Honorable Ruinda, Kudiva, Mundu. But what's happening on the ground? I want to focus on a true leadership within the PF. Nefeka cleaned. No, but are willing to start clean up without if I could start the political allegiance, prerequisite to be part of the elite Patriotic Front. Ambassador. Because as long as I am a wrangles, you are giving way to the ruling, maybe to interfere with other people. I don't think people will give you another mandate to rule that country ever again. Although kutukwa hysteria chanshani, but I want to serious. After all we did for them, we are not happy with you. You lost by 1 million. But it's not that because people didn't like you, they didn't like confusion. So number one, to want to know, do you deserve to be brought back? Because so if there is a way, at least now I'm a new leadership to clean up the PF. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contributions.
This is Sam from Kaputa.
Yes, my dear brother, make your contributions. Mkwai, make your contribution, my brother.
cho nderomba kufecha kweva ati twapapata honorable komwafuma ekutali apature ya epepi twafueni fie mukutukolonganika twakweva ati tubya baikatana ngeifine mwatupere ntungu chipandu echo twalerolera so tutumire abantu pa ground bese mukupeba amashiku kulingana nefo banshike abaje mwe bali kumuru so twapapata imvo tulirete kumipera amavoti kulingana nefyo mwebene mwanshike kumuru so tulangeni fyo kulingana nefyo tupotufire twaendera sinzi mwali tupera bamakebi zuru eba president so tutumire ni fya abantu pa ground abakwe bati bese mukutulanga nombe fotufire twaenda
Okay. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hi, Ambassador. This is Queen Pumi.
My co-host. Make your contribution, my sister.
Thank you so much. Firstly, I just want to give you credit for always having the interests of Zambians at heart. I think it is clear. The whole country can see that you have good intentions for this country. Last week, you were attacked publicly over the decision that was made for the convention, and you stood your ground. And look here where we are today with this judgment. So what if, we were misled or waited until today? Then what would have happened? So I'd like just to congratulate you and also ask the other senior officials, I think, to take responsibility. I think, sometimes it's good just to take responsibility and apologize, and, to show honesty and just apologize to say, okay, Mwamba, you were right, I was wrong. But it's not fair that these people who called publicly, almost humiliating you, to go quiet when exactly what you told them has happened. My next point is on this police brutality. I also want to speak to Imbira Yamushi, what Bamunkonge said. This young man, he has issued very weird videos disrespecting people. And then he comes and says, today, and then in the same breath, he starts attacking somebody else. I think we need to be serious, okay? We are not children. It's a matter of life and death. I'm a politics. I outraged. We can't be playing politics like you are talking to little kids. You have to walk your talk. If you mean you're not going to attack anyone, don't attack anyone. You can't be saying, I'm not going to attack anyone, and in the same breath, you start attacking somebody else. No. Police brutality, it was sad to see the man bundled up. He's a human being. It's just like, wow. But in a way, I'm kind of happy because it confirms all these reports to the human rights watchers, to the UN. This is in public display on global media platforms. Everybody is seeing. So I think by UPND, they are shooting themselves in the foot, and they're just proving all the reports right. It is sad. This is total bullying again. A woman was killed. I am told actually she went to the chief's palace. I don't know, allegedly. The woman went to the chief's palace before she died to seek refuge, and she was kicked away, chased off, and then I don't know what happened. The chief couldn't even protect her. We saw a chief going to a market to close the market. Where was the police? But we see police bundling up one man just for a political opponent. I even saw
Queen Pumi, you are right. The woman was taken to the palace, but Chief Mselo has issued a statement that he was not present at the palace when they brought the woman. But to some extent, you are right, because the palace still is an institution. Yes. Someone should have protected the woman.
Exactly.
But the chief has said that he was unavailable when they took the woman there. They are the Pontius Pilate, where they take a victim and the victim was not helped.
Yeah, it's really sad. I really feel sad as a woman. It could have been me. It could have been my sister, my daughter, you know, so I think we need to do better on that. And then lastly, the issue of Mundu, you know, it's just sad to see how the case can be brought up after 5 years. Again, it proves political persecution. So why were they sitting on this case all this time? You know? And I feel for Mundu. Right now, I was just sitting and thinking, you know, Mundu knew this thing hanging on his head. He was just waiting for the day that he would be summoned. Can you imagine this? That this is a rule of terror. It's a terrorizing for Mundu. And, you know, I even feel sorry for him. I'm like, he's really strong, you know, because we heard these things. But now to see it in black and white, that for 5 years, these people knew this and they were holding it and just waiting. It's like 2 pounds. You know, it's the same thing that's happening to the Lungu family. So our plea, to summarize this, Mwebena Zambia, vote for Makebi. Makebi has been around presidents. And this, even the election, the way he won it, it's almost spiritual. Kumalawi, they had 17 presidents. People need to know, look at the caliber of a leader you are voting for. He has been around power, and somehow that power has gotten to him. Banda, ECL. So it's the writing is on the wall. It's up to us, Zambia, to just rally behind Makebi, and it's going to be an election between two people. All this unity, we are election calendar now, if Mamlela and that unity. Honestly, these people have not united for the Balungu freedom of preaching unity. I submit.
Thank you, Queen Pumi. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and make your contributions.
Thank you. Anonymous in Zambia. Nifuno kamba ko kapankani ya judgment ya mene wa PF wanayokuembekeza lero pate ya judgment.
Yes.
So ine maganizo yanga ni yakuti chiribu ino PF sembe vaisi ya kuli mausi samba wazidilingana na vakukoti since tinachozinga kudala Makebi as a running mate wa under PF pamene nkani kukoti chiribu ino kutenga ipamozi alliance kuyenda nayo pamene bantu bonse bazachoka ba PF bazaenda kuli Makebi Zulu pamene bayembekezera kuti vintu vonse vinkale bwino ngati kuzankhala futi msokonezo kuli Makebi Zulu since uyu Makalava avomera kuti bafuna kuti bankale pamozi bangankale pamozi ngati kwankhala msokonezo kuli Makebi Zulu chili bwino ndikuita handing kuli ndani kuli Kalava na kweve kuja kuli brand mundu ile ngati kwankhala problem bacha bantu ali kuli brand mundu chiteni baende kwankhala futi pamozi nishi problem nishasira mangati ali hapa akamba huyu ali hapa akamba huyu nishikulibe pamene vizatandizika pa kugawanikana koma chame chifunika ni unity wonse chikwatiziwa kuti Kalava sanga wineka Makebi sanga wineka brand mundu sanga wineka chanchifunika njani ni unity. So i program ya PF original PF imsire ni mausi samba adilingana na kunkani ya kodi imwe tenti dilingana na chani na Makebi Zulu already abantu wanachoka kudala kuli PF ya mineri kukoti wanachoka mo kudala wali kuli ndani kuli brand ya kuli Makebi Zulu. So tenti wone iti support pase Makebi Zulu kamchuchunganya futi kizakamba pasa uyu mzako amene ali pafupi na iwe amene alibe mlandu uli wonse chamene wafuna abantu wafuna kuti bachose iboma amene ilipo ni chamene wafuna abantu.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wafuna kuti baike pamozi mavoti ndiponso iboma ichoke. So ngati Makebi Zulu amchuchungayo kisanga pesike pa ballot paper vanengekera kumverana sisi vari pamozi vanenge kupasa mavhoti vanenge kupasa ndani uyu wamene uchiteni uyu ari Kalava tiziva kuti chamatifuna ni ichi futi kuja kuli brand mundu ile kuja tiziva kuti brand mundu sanga wine futi vanenge kukhala pamozi abantu batatu Makebi brand mundu ile na ari Kalava vanenge kukhala pamozi na venango vanenge kukhala pamozi.
Thank you very much. Hello caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, hello.
Yes, caller. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
I'm Anonymous calling from Solowezi.
Anonymous, make your contributions.
Yes, Bamwamba, you've worked as an ambassador in many countries in Africa and outside. I think Bamwamba takuliko ama international communities abale monefile chitika muno mu Zambia. E.g., I can say American ambassador or Russian ambassador. I think, are they not seeing what is happening in Zambia, please? I think vamano mamba kuti mwalanda konavo because muno mu Zambia vera butukira fe ukuli nkondo. Na muno mu Zambia nkondo efo yambe fine because if intufile chitika tafile chitika if intufisu.
Thank you. Our caller from Solwezi, Bimoni.
Who killed that lady in Solwezi? They didn't even. They were taking them as if they are not. They haven't killed anyone. But that one, just from talking, they manhandled him like a small boy. I think Zambia should. I think man, no, should talk. You should say something because you worked in these international communities. Please let the American embassy help us Zambians. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contributions.
Mwamba, good evening.
Good evening.
This is Chola calling you from Lusaka.
Chola, make your contributions.
I'm also making a contribution toward what is happening in our country. This is the high time as a former politician, especially for our opposition, kulolekesha ukweba tibushe umuntu ingatuafuisha kwa tuabomba na enani nani. Ngatualolesha ubuteko baba UPN dina tulosha kwa tiba PF tabarefo kubupanya iyo. And in a slow state batupere kuli ubuteko baba gainde ichilema. Icho tulelombo kweba ati ifo bali ma opposition fo intungulushi ba PF ba Mundu bile ba Makebi Zulu twali umfomu nyine fo president ali kalaba aito kweba ati baneni ero twasanswa te kisendo cha muntu mo kisendo cha bonse pantu lelo kutini baba ni Makebi mailo aba ni Mundu bile uli abushukuti baba ni ba president kalaba echo ba president na basendo lutampulo kukonka bonsa baba munyine fo abali mulishi muri fifu panifya butungu ko batiseni pamo tubombele pamo echo tulechita biu kuli bonsa bali mu PF socialist abali kuli ba Makebi nabali kuli ba Mundu bile bakalaba nabesule fibiko batiseni banetu ngabombela pamo kwe bati tutwale ekyalo kyespantanshi ubunkalwe wachira kuli aba bantu nga twabapanya ala tatu apusuke bonse echo twalomboko bati seni tumani akapi nokubombera chapamo ififya citizen first filifya isula kuli bonse natotera bamwamba.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yeah, I'm calling you from Solwezi. This is Greg Mianda.
Yes, Mr. Mianda, make your contribution.
Yes, I wanted to contribute something towards the program.
Yes.
Aba ichiri poshe ba opposition kwikatana. Muri bukaitemo muri imwe ba leaders fepa grassroots na twikatana. Ngai mwe chishirirenga, what's the problem? Ikatane ni fama voice na twikatana fwe ba kwete naye ni fwe okuchira naye mwe ba repusana. Ikatane ni fye musolve ama issues tuishwe no tuleyana nkwe. Aba UPND naba mibira manukai na beshiba echo baremi katana besha na muchepa so imunga mwai katana mwasala leader unga umo uli credible leadership yo trefa chapo ni shwampela ma votes ni shimwa win bantu apa bakola itafe baikato ngaba win it will even be worse. So anyway, that's my contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Mwabombeni mkwaiba mwamba.
Mwabombeni.
Mkwai. This is Susan Mwale from Lusaka.
Susan Mwale, make your contributions.
I'm also very happy
that everybody's concern is to see that we remove this government. And I also want to agree with a lot of people that have contributed to say, umuntu ngaiperesho kuba tatwabombe one but twikatane, like President Harikalaba did on the press the other day. We had to say mwebantu abantu twabakwanishe chira umona umo sentwikatane. I want everyone to drop their ego no kulekera conference ya kufa fiat ineni nebo but bekatane babombere pamo balera that barikala batafo kubombana abantu but bali tulangisha pamula basa bose twali tamba ukweba tu umuntu alefo kubombere cyo cha Zambia alekela koko bati ndefu atubombere pamo na makebi zuru na lamu mona lero lini nabashala so iseni lekeni abantu ngentungurushi bose babombere chapo bekatane Zambia oturefu aye panta chifi ashala fyose tulabeko mwe bantu bakwalesa. I want to back the words of Harry Kalaba. He opened up. Let everybody follow suit. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's just get a recap before we wind up. What were we discussing today? The Patriotic Front judgment. What happened is there has been a case of 9 MPs that sued Miles Sampa at the time that he held an illegal conference. The court today said Miles Sampa held a legitimate legal conference. I've seen assertions, I will mention the media, Kalemba. Kalemba is a very big platform, which is saying the court said the party goes to Robert Chavinga. That is not true. If you look at the judgment, it doesn't even say that. It's only talking about that matter between Brian Mundu, Raphael Nakachinda, and the 9 MPs on one side, and Miles Sampa, who was joined by 2 defendants, Robert Chavinga and Morgan Ingona. And it has said that conference was legal, according to High Court Judge Concepta Zulu. So we had Brian Mundu as first plaintiff. We had Stephen Kampiongo, second plaintiff. We had, on the third, Christopher Kangombe as third plaintiff. Fourth plaintiff was, remember Mtale from Chitambo. Fifth plaintiff was my dear brother from Chiluvi constituency. Sixth plaintiff was my dear brother from Lunte constituency. And the seventh plaintiff was Lupososhi, Member of Parliament Emmanuel Mpankata. Eighth plaintiff was Raphael Nakachinda as Secretary General of the party. This was the case. So you had these MPs, you had the Secretary General of the Patriotic Front suing Miles Sampa. The judge today says that conference that we were challenging was genuinely held. I have said the PF on their side should appeal against that case so that they can argue these issues. Because, for example, it anchors on the issue of that they didn't have a central committee because the key 6 officials resigned. On the other side, although Miles Sampa has won this case, there are other beneficiaries to that judgment. There are those 2 who were joined to the case as defendants, Morgan Ingona and Robert Chavinga. So although Miles Sampa has won, and this becomes a second judgment in the same court where he has won, you have to deal with the issue of Morgan Ingona and Robert Chavinga. The 2 already have a dispute. Miles Sampa fired them, as you saw by the other judgment, and they contended that they fired him. There's that dispute that has to be settled. But as we sit today, the judgment favors Miles Sampa. And where is Miles Sampa? Miles Sampa is with the original Patriotic Front because they had settled this matter. How you handle this becomes a leadership issue. There will be contention from Morgan and Robert Chavinga. If it is Robert Chavinga, he shouldn't be even entertained because he formally joined the UPND together with Sunday Chanda at that event in Nakonde where the president was. So let me take the last calls and then we close the program. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Mulapo mukaba Emmanuel Mwamba.
Mkwai.
Ntungulushi Yesu. Ya kwatsa. Nachirafu okuchipako eko ama sentiments ama webs ya mweni abantu bonse bafuma mukulanda pa. Nachirafu okula kutaking opportunity if achishikira kuli Brian Mundubire. Brian Mundubire bachi bapera lali ya free kurusaka mukairo road. Nakakwe batunatuikatana bonse ile Brian Mundubire babeta ku polisi ile bamakebi babeta ku polisi twayima bonse fiera ba given Rubinda na ba Kambundi na ba Mausampa na ba Mundubire na ba makebi twaya twapanga na imbirali firafine bala mbukora tino kutuikata nimechile kitu cha kwa bati hii peace turefwa ya fwe baliche aba kuruta bayita tabare ifwaya ndipo kubera kwa politician issue batemwe yakwe bati balabura party ntu PF olo ibe kwati yakusungira mo urupu wanga filipi arandika ngombe ati my family comes first ndibe bakaba disappointed this time around PF tatuakareke na futi bakatona wiri abakaramba so kirero umba ukutira bonse bamye ko yayindira pamunga bamufati makepi bamwita ngabamufati barubinda babeta bonse bayima chipifya ba support umuntu obekete umuntu obarefu okora chita intimidate umuntu obare chitarasi opo ba UPND na ba chitara manage kwambo kora ikatabi na chitotera babatwara na kujere aba Nixon chirango babatwara kujere pomani babatwara kujere because barekesha bare emini na beka mwamuna yaba kwati ni mumpanga ile nkara mwirefu okwikato umuntu bonse mwayimine nkaramu eti ikato umuntu chabi pokutira mukanjite mwena buchiramo efu abantu barapwira ngatabaikate ntwarapwa oba my election yanga twarusa ni chapwa pesa mijo ina fyo kwine bamwamba fwe bambi ndemieba ni chapo twaraba ku Zambia bamwamba ilibya ashira kwikatana berisenda kwati byashira ku ya kwakana amare ilibya ashira kwatana tatu abareki waraba pera Feinstein nono kirabeka tanipamo atotera bamwamba kumpera Feinstein.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Mwewa is my name, calling you from Osaka.
Yes, Mr. Mwewa.
Mwamba from England, Kotureto, Trapanchito Mlebomba. Lero chimbeto na lalanda, kufonse faleranda, chakwi katana. Abantu nga baikatana mu position, okutungirira umo as a president. If you do chava wino.
Not quarter feedback. Ngakuma weshako uko mleo umfuila.
Okay, emkwa ndilanda panchito mlebomba.
Emkwa.
Mlebomba nchito yakosa sana. Lelo fyonse bantu ayilanda kufya kukwikatana. Nga twaikatana takuli chinga shupa. Then uyo movement oyo ati
is it cut?
Ekentwikatani nentungulushi notyutu baba kwa mundu biri bale tukaba kwa makepi ekentwikatani aziba PF nokutungirira abina abantu nokumenya shwati babombere pamu nainga twaikatana takuli chinga shupa na mingala shira perera as a leader of faith wateka fya abantu bakutemwape notukula using mingala pandu mingala toshi notu waibomsha kuna kulibo mwini chentwikatani finta filimu no muchalo abantu balechula balira mwina tukwata abantu bali ku majeri abo abena boma eno sambo abena chilango bonsabo balosha kulifwe eronga twambo kwe batweni kana fenye bala afa abanyeso mujeri eronga yasa wapapera another 5 years tukamuchiro as a country. We are all behind you people. Divinely united as leaders who come to the way forward. Then the other thing, if you are ikatira kuri PF, just forget about that. Chambe no kutontonkanya party etuinga bonfya instead of kwete. If you ngalanda kwa fini.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
resources mwape nondolero mwape wakubumba mwape nchitakatekola fibando wapokere nkashikurubiro from lunte
emkwaye mwebena lunte mulishani
awo tuli umutende ba ambassador wesu lero nangula tuli abasakamikwa ledo achimwe bachitintanya intungulushi yesu kaidi kuishinte kuno kwa brand mundu bire bafuma ebaleta nolunte bakuzabinga ba district mukuipyali ngufu abantu bonse ife balelanda na program yenu ya pamula basa wenu itulaikonka sana icho abantu balelanda po bamwamba imwe mufire mwesa contribute makamaka because mwaikota platform ikulu na ifwe bakonka intungulushine pali bamakebi pali ba brand mundu bire tulamono kutira mwafini na kulubalirumo imwe ngaleta unity so ile mwalambo kushawoda aba programs okufuma lero insata tukwete abantu besungo mu wonse balelandira bakachula bambiero balefye balesana mu balepoka ama passport ngesho bapoka ba plan mundu bili bakapoka bonse ile bakakonka ba makebi bakapoka bonse ifo bonse background we are willing kuvote ubuteko out because the power nangu mfi wachita bari from kulabe pa fya abantu nomba natumone fya abantu besu balechura ntungulushi cheso feshirechura tufuire kwamba chacha wachipya nanguwa uno mwaka so intungulushi nze tubombere chapa mutabali venzo valeluisha ichileluisha venge fye bakola bachilanda ninkala muyimine ile mina ula abantu nabe nabantu abalichana defect addition fye bayitondonga na mano yabo fu yabo so mwe bamunyina netendwikatane tume chacha tupoke obuntungwa wabubiri muno mu Zambia otherwise next 5 years katisho fya abantu bakachula so ba Emmanuel Mwamba ufuma lelo ama programs mwambi okulaisa host yakushita unite abantu bonse aba intungulution sechu kwakwata efetre lomba kopi notu mwafina kuri ba market mwafina kuri banani mwasi support TV PF nomba takuri apana ngo PF ya mitima Yesu twalishwa mama shato twafwala tatwakafule so tien tubike abantu bonse chapa monoti bachanda kabwena banane balenda fe babiri kano bonse balendela chapa mo so that ngabai katoyo bala punda ala kala muyo ya kato mundu so that tubususheko abantu beso ntungulusheze tuli mvwa bwino chira bushiko chire chula ngatwali mono koko muri kusefulimbi nombe ntungulushishiri kuno abengi bakachule chipeshamana so twapapa chine okufuma lelo kuyana kontanji ambeni kusha host ama programs akulaisha unite ama factions ya kwa abalubinda aya abamakebi aya ababrand mundu bile abrand mundu bile badi chimono kwitira pe mfuta bakatupera ndwambe fye kuluta mpulo lumbi ene kendi bonse tukwati umutima umono tukula ibika pa yo inengesa chitevita kubifyo ino instano bakufiro kuombera bonse chapamo tatotera mkwai
yeah. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Good evening, good evening.
I'm calling from within Lusaka.
Tell us your name and make your contribution.
I'll remain anonymous.
Yes.
Yes, let me add my voice. My contribution is just a wonder over the panic which the New Dawn government is exhibiting.
Yes.
They stayed 23 years in opposition. Then after taking over power, it is 4 years plus. They have literally scored nothing. I can say nothing. Hello?
Baya makulandeni tule miumfwa. You don't inshifuro okula suminishefi akulandeni.
Emkwai. Vamwamba 4 years. They want to force themselves to maintain a leadership. Bamwamba democracy, you allow people to vote for you to exercise the democratic right. You don't force yourself to be the leader of the people, but you allow abantu abene bakuvotera. But what I'm seeing, I am election otwala kwata pa 13 August 2026 ndemona butungulushubwa bwakuyipatikisha.
Yes.
If I can compare 2 years basatoyo babombere before taturaingira mwaka wa kitatu bambi okulwala n'okutusha batusha na ba UPNDF yo babombere awe kutali sana bamwamba nangu ningamba vyokupenda pali lero awe kutali vyokutali fene mpanga nombocho bale ipatikisha ocho nshishibe bonza bale imini na makandidates bakatusuminisha efe tukavote ukulingana nefo tuwavotele mu 2021 tukasale ntungurusha osho tulefuaya fuebene no tukutupatikisha efyo tatulefuaya. I think inapera popene bamwamba.
Thank you very much. I'm beginning to take the last cause. Mwantu wakwalesa tutushe. It was an emotive debate. It was important that we discuss this matter, but I'm beginning to close down. Make your contributions. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Mkwaye mwewa kusamfia.
Mkwaye alatata mwebo munande kufina na malitas ekiri kulira kwesufewo kwena pa ground tata palifyewu ino balifyewu ino tata kwa ulabe pano bufi kanchi mweba kwata kweshuko tale ni mbale mulande kuna malito kutira awu abantu bale Mkwaye echo balefu aisha tata kwikatana epera mwe kwena la pera tata.
Okay, thank you very much. Today we're discussing the judgment and the latest development in the High Court. Judge Concepta Zulu issued a judgment, a long-awaited judgment. And many people have said, you had warned that this judgment could go either side. Yes, I did. Because I said, you just can't be hopeful that the judgment will be in favor of Nakachinda, Brian Mundu and others. What if it goes to the defendant, who was Mao Sampa, Robert Chavinga, and Morgan Ngona? What if it goes the other side? I don't know why people are trying to plan only one way. It could have gone either side. I say we are very fortunate. Even then I had said, we are very fortunate that whichever way the judgment will go, it will somehow benefit us, because the main contender on the other side, Mao Sampa, is with us. He reconciled with the late President Edgar Lungu. And whatever happens, whether we win, in fact, as you saw the factors today, is that the Brian Mundu with the team were also going to be a factor, because they were the plaintiff. It was Raphael Nakachinda and the MPs I read from Mlenga, Fube from Chilubi, remember Mtale from Chitambo, from Lunte, my dear brother from Lunte, Brian Munduwile himself, and Christopher Kangombe. All these were going to be beneficiaries of the judgment if we won, because they were the plaintiff. The issue was that the records at Registrar of Societies should have restored, in this case, to ECL and those that were there before Mao Sampa held the conference. So in my view, this was a win-win situation either way. Even if Mao Sampa has won this case, remember, he has two other defendants that the issues he has to resolve. And what this means, again, is matters, unfortunately, remain in court, because there is a court injunction in Kabwe and another court injunction in the Court of Appeal, where Morgan Ngona is pleading with the court to protect him, that is still SG until his appeal is heard in the Court of Appeal. All these we know are frustrations. And I like the call by the people that leaders must see beyond these personal differences and personal ambitions and come together. They've held the decision of they've held the decision of Makebi Zulu to meet Harry Kalaba. They've demonstrated their excitement, and they are saying other leaders, Brian Mundu, Fred Membe, KBF and others should come together. Unity will be the only way in which the opposition will be united, and at which they will present a strong challenge. Nomination days have been put to 18th May 2026, and Socialist Party Dr. Cosmas Musumali has written that they should be separated with that for MPs, and I agree with him. We want to acquire. God bless you. We'll see you on Sunday.
We want change. We want change. We want change. We want change. We want a change.
The sound magician. Wi-Fi on the beat, boy.
Twakupele voting atawa bomba Twakupele voting atawa bomba Tawali mone voting atawa bomba Tawali mone voting atawa bomba Pantuno mwaka Kuya bebele Twanakane mwe Mwachira mobufi Kuya bebele Twamwelele numa Kuya bebele Walitula ile ona lembo ati mukesa tupangira kwemisebo Wali mipele nebo ati mukesa tupangira kwemisebo Nimwewo mwatile mukesa tukulira nechipatala ifwe Nimwewo mwatile mukesa tukulira na masukulu kuno Ukutula potwa misalila ifwe Walitula baona lebo Imisebo ala ya jonaika Ichipatala takwaba kuno Abana besu basambirila mufi mutifya mango Bana mayo mapapila mungande zipatala takwaba kuno Imisepila chose mbalo fwa Bapepa tebange Fama delilo mufunda tawafika Nembu tota shafika Ukutula potwa misalila ifwe Mulitula baona lebo Nomba lelo mabwela imwe Mulefwa ya tumivotere Twakupele voting atawa bomba Twakupele voting atawa bomba Tawali mone voting atawa bomba Tawali mone voting atawa bomba Pantuno mwaka Kuya bebele Twanakane mwe Mwachira mobufi Kuya bebele Twamwelele numa Kuya bebele Mwachira mobufi Uno mwaka tulefa yabakutubombera Nocha bakwisa kuno mukuzembereka Mukutwibira mano nga twabavotera abaya Nangu mwatupele ndalama tulepo kata twamivotere Nido chikubeba wapoka walya Nido chikubeba wapoka walya Ababina chimwe na mwekole uko bafuma balilaba Bayi kutapiza bala boko bafuma Bayi kutapai bala bati bakabwela Baja chikini nena mabanu inapana kaso Wala onalebo mulabeja Ukutula potwa misalila ifwe Walitula baonalebo Nomba lelo mabwela imwe Mulefwa ya tumivotere Twakupele